Hi everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Crackology series, where every week we take up one topic that might be bothering you, or you may be stuck in the phase of preparation for your CAT examination, and we decipher that as to how you can easily tackle that problem and move ahead with your preparation. This week we are going to discuss something called as the Pomodoro technique. It's a very beautiful technique that works immensely well for your preparation and life in general, in fact. So we'll go ahead and see how you can, use this technique. This technique will, in fact, solve many of your doubts because there are many questions that are asked by students that, hey, how many hours should I study? Hey, how many marks should I give? Etc. Etc. So let's see about the technique and then we'll discuss furthermore. All right, Pomodoro technique. First of all, what is this Pomodoro thing? Uh, very simply put, if you the Pomodoro technique is simply called as the 80-20 rule. Okay, now this is just take this one for the number's sake right now. Now, what 80-20 is in whatever domain that you might be working or you might be sort of preparing for, 80% of your result is achieved only by 20% of the result or 20% of your efforts. Now, this is valid in every single domain of life that you can think. I'll give you a business context. Uh, in larger companies, there are different sort of materials that they sell. I don't know if you've heard the name. These are called SKUs, stock keeping units. So, for example, if you buy a Colgate toothpaste, it comes in a small packet of 10 rupees. It comes in a bigger package of 50 rupees, or for example, something of that sort. So this is called stock keeping unit 1, stock keeping unit 2, and so on and so forth. There are thousands of SKUs in Colgate and Unilever and whatever the bigger FMCGs that you can think of. Okay. Now, if you ask any person who is working in sales, maybe in demand and supply planning of that team, you will realize that around 80% of sales happens through only 20% of SKUs. And this is bizarre, right? 80% of the sales happens through 20% of the SKUs. This is not only here. This is not only applicable here. This is applicable in each and every domain of your life as well. Just think about, there is a common saying that 80% of the wealth is controlled by 20% of the people. That's true, right? So this Pomodoro technique is valid in every aspect of your life, whatever you may think of. This is valid in your preparation as well. 80% of your score comes from 20 to 25% of the topics that you have mastered. I'll give you a classic example. There are 5 topics in quants, right? As arithmetic, algebra, geometry, number system, modern math. Okay, 80% of the topics, 80% of your marks will come from only 20%. So if you solve only arithmetic correctly, if you solve all of these arithmetic problems, I mean, if there are 20 problems asked, and of course there are around 5 to 6 from arithmetic, if you solve 5 to 6 correctly, your percentile will be in that relation only. So you are solving around just 20% problem but getting 80% of the result, and so on and so forth. This is valid for how long should you study as well. For example, let's take a 30-minute cycle of your preparation. In 30 minutes, it is scientifically proven that the concentration of a human mind is usually, when you are not in the zone, your concentration will not span for more than 20 to 25 minutes. Okay. So it's a good idea to split your half an hours as 25-5. This is again 25-5 rule, as it is commonly said. So 25 is, and in total you have 30. So 25 is around 80%, of 30 minutes. Okay. And that gives you around, the major chunk of your concentration is there. Or, if you just divide your 30 minutes into 25 and 5, for the 25 minutes, you are thoroughly focused And in the next 5 minutes, you can do whatever you want. You can relax, you can walk here and there and whatever, etc. It's a very important rule, very, very important rule, by the way. How you can use it in CAT examination preparation. Now, that is something that is very important. Concept building. First thing first, you can use this to build your concept. If you are, you know, learning something new, for example, in quants, you are studying speed distance in time. Take 25 minutes, study the concept well, take 5 minutes break. That completes 30 minutes of your, intense preparation. Then again, come back, use 25-5. Come back again, use 25-5. You will see in 3 iterations of 25-5, you will be exhausted and you will need a longer break. Okay, use that. Use that time to take a half an hour break or something. But you will realize slowly that in those 75 minutes, 25, 25, and 25, you were thoroughly there, you were focused, you were not doing anything else, which is very important. You are then and you are there only. Use it to solve questions. I mean, if there are sort of 25 questions which are asked, you don't have to spend all the times. You know that 20% of the questions will be difficult. So around what 5 questions will be difficult. Now you theoretically know that 20% of 25 is 5. So 5 to 6 questions you can expect to be difficult. So if you miss out on 4 to 5 questions, it's totally fine, right? Error analysis or mock review. Now, I will come to mock review a bit later in our Crackology series, but if you spend 2 hours in giving mock, you should spend at least 8 hours analyzing that mock. 2 plus 8 is 10, 2 is 20% of 10, 8 is 80%, right? 20% effort, 80%, your analysis. It's very important. People generally consider the mock analysis as, hey, I matched my answer, I know how to solve this, and that's done. No, it's not done. Now, I'll go into mock review, etc. later on in the Crackology series, but for now, just understand it's also using the Pomodoro technique. uh, reading practice. Of course, you will get bored if you read for 1 hour straight. You'll get bored. Just read for 25 minutes, get up for 5 minutes, and then again come back, read again for 25 minutes, and that should cover your 4 to 5 articles for the day. In 2 pomodoros, you should be able to complete 4 to 5 articles a day. Timed mock test or sectional test, again the same thing. I know we have 40 minutes pomodoros, okay, and it's very interesting though. If you have 40 minutes, 30, and particularly this is valid for the DILR section, it is generally also said that for the first 4 to 5 minutes, you just finalize what sets are there. You gaze the sets and finalize what sets you are going to solve. I mean, I used to do that way. It's not mandatory for you to do that way. But that 32 minutes of that, you are bound to solve the question. So it's again 80% of effort, 80% of the time you invest in one thing, and then 20% in gauging the questions, etc. So these 20 minutes, this 20% will determine how well you perform in this 80% of the time. Very important. And of course, note making and revision. So now, mind you, for note making, there is not so much of note making here. Okay, you are not supposed to go ahead and write that, okay, chapter 1 notes this. It's not required over here. So if you study for, let's say, 4 hours, in those 4 hours, you should devote a significant amount of time in understanding the concept rather than making notes about it. Note making should only contribute to maybe half an hour to 45 minutes of your 4 hours of daily preparation. That's it. Okay. It's very important that you understand that technique, and most importantly, use that in your study schedule. I mean, 25-5 rule. Slowly you can increase that Pomodoro. You can go to 30 minutes. 30 minutes will be again 25-5. That's already there. You can go to 40 minutes Pomodoros. That will be 32 or 33 minutes, and then 7 to 8 minutes of break. You can even go for longer Pomodoros, 50 minutes of a straight study and then 10 minutes of break. Okay, up to you. But it's very important that you practice this Pomodoro technique in the various aspects that we have discussed now, and you will be well set. You will also be able to very well define that how much hours should you study. I mean, if you divide your preparation journey in the chunks of 30 minutes, or let's say chunk of 45 minutes, whatever the Pomodoro you are used to. I'm used to 30 minutes, so I'm going to discuss that. So I used to do 3 shifts for quants, 2 shifts for DILR, and again 2 shifts for sort of VRC, and then again 2 shifts for, let's say, reading. So how many? These are 9 Pomodoros. That's 4.5 to 5 hours. Okay. Even if you are 80% accurate, you will not require more than 6 hours of daily time. It's so simple. Okay. Cracking cat with a good percentile is not a big deal. Understand this. Given that you put in the hard work, given that you put in the right amount of time, and you prepare with the right standard of questions, it's not a very difficult deal to score good in cat. Okay. I hope this video was useful to you. Listen to this, come back to this again and again, and figure out what Pomodoro works the best for you. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon as well. I'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye bye. Take care.